So anyway, this is a good thing. All right, so I think that what I'm going to do this time, if everybody can hear and everybody can speak, what I'd like to do is I'd like for the board members to introduce themselves rather than me doing it. So I'm going to start with Lori, and I hope she can hear me and she can speak. Lori?
I'm back in. I don't know what was going on.
Well, we have a beautiful picture of somebody's fan. It's awesome.
I'm in and I can hear you now. I don't know what happened.
Okay, would you like to introduce yourself? We're going to introduce the board. I'm going to let the board members introduce themselves this time.
You want me to start?
Yep.
Laurie Wexel. I operate the Stone Ridge Event Center. I'm Senior Vice President of Tucker Business Association and happy to see everybody here today.
Kristen, are you on? Kristen?
I do not see Kristen on, so skip
right,
to the next one.
All right, I'll introduce Kristen Kamichi. She is our secretary, and she and her husband own G2 Surfaces. And Callaway Dorsey, are you on?
I think so. Can you hear me?
I can hear you fine.
Great. Callaway Dorsey, I'm the treasurer of Tucker Business Association, CPA here in Atlanta and Tucker, Georgia.
All right, Jonathan?
Hey, good morning, everybody. Jonathan Clark, financial advisor. I work with Edward Jones here in Tucker, and I'm also the membership chair for the Tucker Business Association.
Okay. Is Art Wood on?
No, I do not see him on.
All right. Art Wood is on our board. He is our.
Honey, you're still very, very low on the volume.
All right, sorry. I will try do my best to speak up. Sorry. Lost my phones are ringing here, so, which is a good thing if you're in business that your phone's ringing. That's awesome. Noelle, would you like to introduce yourself, please?
Sure. First, I'm Noelle Monfordini. I'm on the City of Tucker, District 2. I'm also your social media person. And I would like to say if anybody has not muted their conversations on this call, please just mute your voice so that way it's not picking up everybody and we get a nice clear signal, especially when the presenter comes on. I would like to ask any businesses that have become part of the Tucker Business Association that would like to have a feature on the website, or not the website, but on Facebook, to please send me an email at Noelle, Noelle at TBA, I'm sorry, Noelle, Noelle, TBA at gmail.com. And I'll put that on in the chat. So if you're a member and you've paid your dues this year, we would like to brag about you and get information out on whatever you want us to do. So I'll look forward to seeing that. Thank you.
Can you repeat your email address again? It's Noelle TBA at what?
At gmail.com.
Noelle, can you
I
repeat
just
your
sent
address
it
again? At Gmail. I got it. I see it. Thank you. Thank you.
And I sent it on the chat too for everybody if you need NoelleTBA at gmail.com.
Also, Will Aurora is our ex officio. He was the past president. He's also on our board, and I don't believe he's on our call today either. So, and before we go on to the next thing, Stephen, would you explain to everybody what you explained to me before we started up?
Yeah, if anybody's having any kind of connection issues, especially with the audio, what I would advise is in the bottom left corner of your screen, there'll be something that says audio, or if you've already connected via your computer, there's a little arrow right next to it. I would advise if you click on that little arrow, you connect through your phone, because the audio on the phone is a lot better sometimes than the computer audio, just because your computer internet connectivity sometimes can be spotty, so that would affect your audio. Whereas the phone audio typically works a lot better. So if you have any questions, feel free to raise your hand, or in the Zoom group chat, you can, I'll be monitoring that. So if anybody's having any questions or issues, please speak up. And yeah, we want this to go as smoothly as possible.
Thank you. So Stephen, since we're going to introduce our members, why don't you go ahead and start and tell everybody who you are?
Sure. My name is Stephen Bentley. I grew up in this area, in the Stone Mountain Smoke Rise area, and I currently live in North Lake. I have a wife and 2 children, and I am a business advisor for small businesses, for software, for digital marketing and digital advertising. And I can help your businesses with all types of things, including social media, Google like search, websites, reputation, email, text messaging, all types of things. So I'd love to talk with you or help you, and vice versa. I'd love to be helped if I have needs. So look, I'm really glad to be a member of this association.
Thank you. Let's see. I don't know. I can't do this in order. So y'all just step in, unmute yourselves, and introduce yourselves, please. Thank you.
Let's go. Next up, Bob Cares.
Okay, good morning, everybody, or good afternoon. So yes, Bob Cares, formerly Bob Smith. I've lived in Tucker for 20 years, and I can't believe it's been 20 years. But I've also been a health and life insurance agent since 2009. I focus on the individual market. So if anybody knows someone that unfortunately lost their health insurance, their employer coverage, they're learning that COBRA is very expensive, and I'm an asset. I could be very helpful. I posted my new website on the chat box, so I can be easily found that way. And I'm glad to be here, and I look forward to hearing the sheriff.
So next up, I'd say Lizbeth Dyson. I hope I pronounced your name right.
Hey, Lizbeth Dyson, Shiny Ink. We are the publisher of Our Town Tab. We are right now working on our July issue, which is the first of our monthly issues. We were going bi-monthly, but we are going monthly this month. So hello, been a member of TBA on and off for, I don't know, 10 years maybe. So glad to be there. It's a good organization. That's all I have to say, really.
Thank you, Lizbeth. Next up, Albert Still.
Good morning, Albert Still, member through Tucker Optimist Club. Currently, I am president of Tucker Civic Association. I am also governor-elect of the Optimist District, which consists of the state of Georgia and Middle Tennessee.
Nice. All right, next up, I'm gonna do Dan Palumbo. I hope I pronounced your name correctly.
You did. Nice job. Hey, everyone. Dan Palumbo. I'm an attorney who specializes in family law, divorce, and criminal law. And along with my wife, Jessica, we run Palumbo Law, which is located on Brockett Road in Tucker. The courts are closed, but we are open. Everything is being done virtually, video hearings, you know, with everyone in such close proximity. Family law is busy these days. Custody fights, divorces, and everything. I'm a member of TBA, and it seems like as soon as I got my window plaque from my office, we went into this unfortunate lockdown mode. But I look forward to getting back in person with you all and having some connections and meeting most of you for lunch. But if you or your friends, your families, or needs anything in the legal aspect, please, Palumbo Law. I'm on the web. My information is on the Business Association website, hopefully. And I look forward to seeing you all soon.
Yes, thank you, Dan. I think we're all looking forward to get back out. Actually, I'm in the back room right now of Magnolia Room, and I have some of the collard greens. So please support your local small restaurants. All right, next up, Callaway Dorsey.
Well, it's me again. I'm still the treasurer. I'm still a CPA, and I'm still working hard. So I'll take up less time. Thank you.
Thank you. And I guess technically too, we heard from Albert, but Mary, if you'd like anything to say or add. Mary.
No,
Still?
I'm just a member of Tucker Optimist Club and Tucker Civic Association. And I will just mention that Tucker Civic Association Lifelong Committee right now is working on an age-friendly Tucker project. And if anybody wants more information or wants to help, just get in touch.
Thank you, Mary. I was going to say, it doesn't look like you're actually in the same place as Albert, but I guess you have a different background. Joke.
Distanced.
It looks nice. Okay, next up, Matt Robbins.
I'm Matt Robbins, and I'm with the City Council of Tucker. That's it.
Thanks, Matt. Next up is Mayor Frank Alman.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for inviting me. I am, in fact, honored to serve as the mayor, but I'm also a small business owner and likely delinquent on my dues. So you can let me know and I'll catch that up. Looking forward to talking with the chief. Welcome. I see you're using an assumed name today. You'll have to explain that when you get started. All right.
Yeah, that's her colleague. So they didn't. It doesn't matter. It's Mirtha Ramos. We'll skip her because she's going to have the floor in a little bit. Lisa Brashear or Leslie. Excuse me. Sorry.
Hi, I'm Leslie Brashear. I'm not a member. I'm an occasional visitor, and I have a couple of businesses. I do trade bank for Atlanta Dekalb, and then I also have my own website and local marketing for small businesses called Delightful Sites. And I'm happy to be here.
Thank you, Leslie. Next up is Sandra Leonard.
Good morning. I've been a member of TBA. I think this is my third year. I am a realtor with ATL Realty and serve buyers and sellers of every age. I do have a focus on seniors and belong to some senior networking groups. I have a couple of senior designations that very few realtors have. And with the networking groups, I do know a lot of people that serve seniors in various ways. So that if anybody has a need, just let me know. I'm happy to reach out and find somebody to care for somebody that you know.
Thank you, Sandra. Next up is Vivian Wallace.
Hi, my name is Vivian Wallace, and I'm visiting today. I received the invitation, said I wanted to come in and hear what the sheriff had to say. We were members of the Tucker Business Association when our church was located on Lawrenceville Highway. Our permanent location now is at 4000 Covington Highway in Decatur, Georgia, where Reverend Tyrone Barnett is our pastor. So I'm delighted to be here and to hear what's going on in and around our community.
Nice. Thank you, Vivian. Piggybacking on the church theme, Reverend Thomas Edmondson.
Hi, everybody. I'm Tom Edmondson. Thank you, Stephen. And I do envy your collard greens there. They look delicious.
I'll save you some.
And my better half, of course, is sitting in the background there, Ann Edmondson. We represent First Christian Church of Atlanta, also Tucker Community Action Team. And my wife is the director of the Tucker Community Singers. And we had a great Tucker Community Action Team meeting just a little over an hour ago. And so hello again to some of you, and hello for the first time to the rest of you.
Nice, thanks, Tom. Next up, continuing the Magnolia Room theme, Nate Martin.
Hi, I'm Nate Martin with the Magnolia Room Cafeteria. We serve the finest Southern food in the area here. We're very blessed to be right back to kind of where we were before all this happened, and have a lot of exciting things happening at the restaurant, a lot of new renovations for social distancing and whatnot. And if everyone wants to, hopefully next week we'll be seeing each other, or next month, we'll be seeing each other in person.
Nice. Thanks, Nate. Next up, Lori Wexel.
I'll pass since I already introduced myself.
Cool. Thank you for sake of time. Okay, next up is Doctors Q and Jessica, and they'll adjust us. Sorry.
Yes, we will adjust you. Yes, we'll adjust you all. But good afternoon, everybody. I'm Dr. Q. This is Dr. Jessica right beside me. We're here with Legacy Chiropractic. We've been around as visitors for a while with TBA, but officially members now. Thank you, Jonathan Clark, for that. But yeah, we're getting moving. We're looking at opening in August 3rd to be exact. So even though everything happened with COVID, we are still moving forward and we are making great progress. So looking forward to taking care of you all starting in August.
Great. Thank you, guys. And Jonathan Clark, if you might want to say something about your business, but it's up to you.
I mean, Edward Jones, financial advisor, help everybody achieve their goals and dreams. So yes, that's the business side. For Tucker Business Association, please guys, I'm the membership chair. Make sure that you go to our website, tuckerbiz.org, review, make sure that your information is up there. It's accurate, and if you would go ahead and make sure we have your name, your contact information. As Noel was saying earlier, we're going to try to make sure that that's a great marketing tool for you and get your information out and highlight people, but we've got to make sure we have the correct and right information. Email, contact, phone number, who is a contact person, what's your company name and what you do, all that kind of great and wonderful stuff. But also too, we need you to pay your dues. So as our wonderful mayor is going to lead the charge on that to make sure that everybody gets their dues paid and they're all up to date, please join and make sure you pay your dues, because that helps us continue to provide all the wonderful things that we're going to be able to do for you guys and market and network your businesses. So thank you.
Thanks, Jonathan. Okay, next up, Noel, if you want to share a little bit about your business. I know you've already spoke. Noel, we can't hear you. Hello? Noel? Okay, for sake of time, we'll just skip past Noel. Sorry.
Well, that's all right. I got it.
Oh,
Sorry, I had to unmute my phone because I dialed in like you asked me to dial in, so it wasn't choppy. So I hope it's not choppy. I have Creation
Sounds
Stream
great.
Studios. We are a photographer here in Tucker. We can help you with marketing. We can do family photography and real estate photography. We also are now doing video, which is really cool, especially if you're a real estate agent in this market, because you can't show a lot of houses and have people going in occupied houses. So I will come in once and video for you, and it makes it pretty swift. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Noel. Next up is Lori Kimbrell.
Hi, everybody. Good to see you all. I work with Friends of Disabled Adults and Children. We call it FODAC for short, right here in Tucker. And we collect used home medical equipment, such as wheelchairs, hospital beds, pediatric equipment. We refurbish it and redistribute it for low or no cost. And we give it to people in need. And that's all I've got to say. It's great to be on, and I can't wait to hear from the chief.
Thanks, Lori. Okay, next up is Ann Rosenthal.
Good morning. Great to be with you all. My husband Dudley and I have lived in Tucker for more than 10 years, and I have a community and public policy firm and work with local, state, and federal governments and clients looking to build relationships with those folks. As well as community engagement, working with groups to help get their message out. That's it.
Thank you, Ann. Next up is Nishma Barron.
Hi, everyone. This is Nishma Barron. My husband, David Barron, and I own Barron's Heating and Air Conditioning. We service Gwinnett, Dekalb, and a lot of the surrounding counties. Winter, spring, summer, or fall, all you got to do is call. Thank you.
Thank you, Nishma. And then we just had someone join, Darren Randolph. If you got kind of thrown into this, Darren, but we're just introducing ourselves to the group. And if you'd like to, hey, Darren. Hey, we're just introducing ourselves and our business. If you want to just say a little bit about who you are and your business.
My name is Darren Randolph. I'm the executive pastor of Peace Baptist Church out in Decatur, Georgia.
Oh, great. Thank you for coming. Okay, so now we've kind of given everybody a chance to introduce themselves. I don't think we have anything else, honey, to do. So I'd say maybe we just give the floor to Chief Ramos.
No. I want to open the floor. I want to open the floor. I have a couple. I just had one announcement today. I was notified yesterday about the census report for DeKalb County. We've said this before. If you have not completed your census, please do so. It is supremely important to DeKalb County. And so we are about the last percentage that I got as of yesterday was we were like 65.6%, and we'd like to be 100%. We'd like to be the first city to be 100%. So if you haven't already done it, please do your part and go ahead and complete it. It takes less than 3 minutes to complete it. It's just super simple, and you can do it online. One other thing, if anybody else has any other announcements about things that are going on in Tucker, please let us know now. We'd appreciate that. And then we'll put on the chief. We've got a couple of minutes yet. Anybody have any announcements? Wow. Must be slow for Tucker these days. And Stephen, I want to tell you, you're eating those collards. I am so jealous. The only thing that make it worse is you're eating fried okra. I'm just saying.
I was here last Friday too, and I got fried okra then. So I kind of do every other time, collards and then the okra. So, but yeah, get out here and support them. Everything's social distance. And also I've heard recently is that we shouldn't be saying social distancing. We should just say physical distancing, because we need to be social. We still need to socialize with each other to not only, keep our businesses going and thriving, but also to keep us from going crazy. So,
okay.
Physical distance, not social distance.
I like it. It's a good thing. All right. So in order to, since there's no announcements, Stephen, I'm going to let Lori introduce, because she's our program chair. I'm going to let Lori introduce the chief. That's all right. Lori, can you hear us?
Yes, I can. Chief Ramos, thank you so much for joining us today. I've had the privilege of meeting Chief on several occasions prior to the lockdown and all the different circumstances of coronavirus, and I'm very active and involved with DeKalb County Police and the rank and file. Everybody is thrilled having Chief Ramos on board, and I can't wait for y'all to get to hear from her. So Chief, thank you so much again for joining us today. Chief, you'll have to unmute yourself.
Am I good now? Okay, and that's why you saw a different name up there, because I'm not really good with gadgets, and my aide had set me up and he must have set himself up. So, but I've corrected it. So, hello everybody, my name is Mirtha Ramos. I think I popped into one of your meetings unexpectedly a few months before. I've been with DeKalb County for 7 months. And really, we were going fast and furious for the first 3 months, and then COVID hit, and we've pretty much been in lockdown, so kind of slowed down our progress. But just kind of want to say that one of my goals since I've been here is engaging more with the community. I want myself and the police officers to be more involved with the community as far as knocking on doors, walking through businesses. We want to do business patrol. We want to know who the business owners are. We want them to know who we are. We really want to be visible in the community so that we can feel like we're working together in a partnership. I know COVID has kind of gotten in the way of that a little bit, but we hope to resume back with all of our activities. We were doing our open air roll call so that the community can see and hear us while we're out addressing our folks. We implemented a new Majors Night Out, which means all the precinct commanders were required to come out twice a month and actually interact with the community. So one of my philosophies is not to work from behind the desk, which is where you see me now. I really prefer to get out there in the community so that I can know what the concerns are. I can't address the concerns if I don't know about them. We're really working on being more open, more transparent, and really just trying to kind of feel, and we want you to feel that we are your police department. That's what we are. We're here to protect and serve, and we just want to make sure that everybody we encounter is aware of that. So I don't know how much more I can say, but I'm open to questions, whatever it is that you want. If I don't know the answer, I'll tell you I don't know. But once again, I really just want to emphasize that I'm open, I'm transparent, and that's really how I want our department to be moving forward. Any questions?
I have one, Chief.
Yes.
What have some of the challenges been connecting with the community and everything since you got here? We hit this whole COVID thing. I know you had the other forum Sunday night, correct?
Yes.
What other things have you been doing to try to get your visibility and your presence known in the community?
I've actually, before, like I said, it's when we got pre and after, but, definitely have really made the presence known as far as we've been going to so many HOA meetings. So I literally would, my 8-hour day consisted of being out and about, and I would come in after hours just to take care of the administrative paperwork, because I think it was a priority for me, not only to meet the community and them to meet me, but also to meet my officers. I'm not from here, so my officers are getting to know me as well. So some of the challenges I think have been maybe creating some partnerships. I thought it'd be a little easier. We have people that are on board, they want to work together, and there are those that we reached out to that are a little hesitant, which I understand, and hopefully with time, we can just have this shared responsibility where we're working together, and if there's a problem, we can just work together to identify it and resolve it. And I think together we can just accomplish anything.
Yeah, Chief, I'd like to ask a question. This is Bob Smith. Obviously the virus is a big issue, but so is what's happening in the news today with the focus on, the police in a negative way. So my question is, how do you work to enhance the morale of the police and try to encourage them, which I think they do, knowing that most people support them and understand the difficult job they're performing?
That is very difficult. But I will tell you that we have good people here. We got good command staff. And I think pushing the message down that they're supported as well by the command staff as well as the community really makes a difference, because I'm going to be honest and say that we have officers that are struggling. We have a supervisor who recently turned in his resignation simply because after conversations with his wife, they just felt it just wasn't worth it. And so even though we haven't had those major concerns as other agencies have seen, our people are feeling it. It's difficult. And I'm really just trying to meet with the command staff, letting them know that I support them 100%, letting them know how important it is that our people down on the road in the field, the one that has the boots in the ground, they really need to know they're appreciated, not only by us, but by the community. And I think that's a big deal. I think I ended my community town hall the other day, and someone said I shouldn't have, but I did. I said, if you see an officer, just say thank you for what they're doing. It goes a long way. We have officers in this police department that are doing really wonderful work, and they're only human. So it's a challenge now to be enthusiastic about coming to work every day, knowing that something may happen that can turn your life around in a split instant. Instance. But I am very supportive of the law enforcement. I'm pushing the message down. I want our assistant chiefs and our majors and everyone else to really push the message down that I see them, I understand them, I hear their concerns, and I'm here if they need me. But I really want to be very supportive, and I would really just ask of the community. I know it's tough, and I understand the community's frustration as well. But if we really could just forge a bond together and just stand together, I think we can come out of this stronger than ever.
Great.
Chief, I'd just like to tell you on behalf of the city of Tucker, we really do appreciate our relationship. And I suspect you've come to know that the relationship between the Tucker precinct and the community here is particularly strong. You have a broader view than I do, but I've never seen a local police department, as it were, as closely related to the community. Your assistant chief Pedrick was our precinct commander before he got to step up, and was a great help to us, as is Major Medlin now, and especially Lieutenant Shepner, who serves as we call the liaison between the city and the precinct. just I can't even begin to describe how valuable a role that is. And actually, I got to get off this call at 1 o'clock because every other Thursday, he gives us a full rundown. We talk about every crime committed in the city, any trends, anything we need to be working on or looking out for. He comes to all our meetings, all of that, but we had some demonstrations here in Tucker a week or two ago. And there was a lot of tension, not knowing how those might turn out, but I think in part credit to him and the community who organized it, turned out to be a very positive thing. So we're excited about our relationship. And I think we need to swear you in over here. I think we're going to have you over one day soon so we can make you the police chief of Tucker officially, and you can come over here and enforce the law anytime you want.
That would be fantastic, considering that my swearing in was very informal. It was the judge and just my chief of staff and my aide. It was very small because of COVID. She actually opened up her courtroom just to swear me in. Because honestly, at this day and age, when people are just kind of giving us a hard time, I couldn't wait to put on the uniform so that I can stand with my people so they know I support them. So for those that maybe have been wondering why I didn't have my uniform on, I needed to be certified officially, and I just wanted to make it official all the way with an official swear-in before I put my uniform on. So I'm very happy to have that, and I would love to be part of Tucker. So that swearing in would mean a lot to me, and I appreciate you thinking about it, sir.
Well, we really do love you guys, and we know how important your role is in our community. So you need something, you call us. We're easy to find.
Thank you, sir. We appreciate that. Thank you so much. And that kind of really goes to everyone is, I hear a lot of good things about the officers on the road, but if you haven't had the experience and you want us at one of your meetings, if you're having issues with your business, if you want us to patrol a specific shopping center, we're more than available and agreeable to help you however we can. Like I said, I really want to kind of, we want to protect and serve, but I want a big emphasis on service. I want to make sure that the community knows that we're there to service them and be there in however we can. So that's really the message that I want to push out to them, and I want to push out to all of you as well.
Chief, this is Honey Vandercreek. I'm the president, and I support the mayor's comments there. We think we need to throw you a big swearing-in ceremony, and we'll make you one that'll make you proud of, and so you can wear your uniform and bring as many people as you like if we can ever get to being closer together other than being distanced. So I'm using Stephen's words there. So I can't tell you how we truly, truly appreciate our police.
Thank you. That goes a long way. I think that's why even in tough times, they still come into work and they do what they have to do. You know, even through COVID, when a lot of people stayed in, we had a very low absenteeism rate. And I think that shows their dedication and enthusiasm for what they do. And I think when they hear that the community appreciates it, it definitely keeps them motivated in times like this. So I thank you.
Our pleasure.
I have a question.
Yes.
What problems are you seeing in our community that we need to understand, problem areas that might be something that as business people we should be aware of? Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. So it's a little difficult for me to talk about specific areas because I'm yet not too familiar with them. But I will say that with COVID, we've had an increase in burglaries to businesses. So we've increased our patrols, but we are also kind of talking to all the business owners and kind of encouraging them to take safety measures. Make sure your alarm is activated. Make sure if you don't have a video camera that you do. But we've actually had some really good apprehensions of burglaries in progress because we have assigned people to those areas to make sure that we try to keep the businesses safe. We know how important it is, especially now with the lack of consumers, to kind of keep what you have in your business. So that's one of the concerns that we have seen as an increase in burglaries to commercial locations.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Chief, this is Laurie again. I've got another question.
Yes, ma'am.
With us as TBA in these times, what can TBA do? You know, you're talking about, you know, strategic partnerships and things like that. What can we do as TBA to encourage our, you know, other than as we see them individually and I know I text Major Medlin on occasion to make sure everything, how they're doing, is there anything we can do? But what can our membership do to encourage our DeKalb County Police Force?
You know, I've been thinking about that because I've been getting that question a lot lately. And I think right now, just showing your support on maybe when you have a meeting, kind of just letting everybody else know your experiences with the DeKalb County Police Department, kind of letting them know how focused we are on community engagement and just being here for the community. I think not everyone has had that opportunity. So if you've had that opportunity and you can kind of be our PSA, that would be great. We really just kind of want to just push that message out that we're here. And if anybody has any issues, I want people to know that we're here to address that as well. We're not expecting everybody to just give. We're willing to give ourselves. And if there's in any way that we can improve, we're more than willing to make whatever changes we need to do to make sure that we're engaging in a positive way.
I have a comment. If there's something that you would like to see our businesses in Tucker do to make them safer and help you and help the police to help the businesses, if you've got any tips or anything you think that we could use, we'd be happy to advertise that and get that word out.
Okay, I will keep that in mind. If we can come up with something that we can push out, we definitely will. I appreciate that, ma'am. And I'm sorry because for some reason I'm not seeing who's speaking, and I'm trying to flip through so I can see the face. But it's not, if somebody can help with that would help.
So what you would want to do is just do a gallery view, and I might have just changed it back. I'd put it on you because you were in the spotlight.
Got it.
But also what I just noticed too is I just started following you and liked the DeKalb County Police Force on Facebook.
Thank
and
you.
It looks like you guys communicate with your community that way. And I'm following it, so now I'll be able to keep up with you. And Honey, and I don't know if it was Honey that said it, but are asking how can we show support. I'd say, you know, in person, obviously say something to a police officer, but also online, you could like them and then send out a thank you, or, you know, whatever message you want to send. But yeah, I think it's the give and take that is good for our community. And it's great to have someone like you who's so open to feedback or, you know, community engagement. And you can't do everything, but at the same time, you can at least listen. And we really appreciate that. I had a question too about, you said early on about something like a business, kind of you go in and just meet a business. You said some term, sorry, I didn't catch it exactly, but can you elaborate a little bit more about like how you guys interact with businesses and some of the things you do besides just stop in and you know, meet them and
well,
what else?
Working out is we were randomly having just business patrols, but our goal really is to have a specific officer assigned to a specific shopping center so that they could actually connect with the business owner at least once a week. Now, if that business owner has a problem that's not an emergency, they say, okay, it's not an emergency. I can speak to Officer so-and-so because I know they're going to pop in. Or, you know, just to have a resource. We want to know who actually patrols your area so that you feel comfortable in interacting with the police. I know sometimes there's problems. You may have a problem area, a problem person. We want somebody to continuously check in with the business owners so that we can address your problems and make you feel good about when you close your business down and go home, knowing that if there is a problem, you can pick up the phone and call a specific person that is responsible for your area. So that's one of our goals, where right now we may just have a whole unit patrol. We want to kind of make it more specific, where there's one officer to each shopping center or business area so that you know who's responsible for your area. We want to try to personalize the service as much as we can with our limitations. And I want to thank you for following us. One of our biggest things is we push a lot of information out, and I realize we don't have a lot of people following us on Facebook, but recently that's been increasing. We try to keep you guys informed. If we have any concerns, we kind of put it on there. If we've had great apprehensions, we put it on there. If there's any concerns in a specific area, like a lot of burglaries or a lot of vehicle burglaries, we'll kind of say, hey, watch out. We've had an increase of burglaries in this area. So we're kind of using it to engage with the community and be more informative and educating the public with what's going on in our environment right now.
I have a question real quick.
Yes.
Are there going to be any type of community initiative in order to connect with the youth in the communities. I think that's a very needed thing in our communities. So is there going to be any type of initiative coming down the pipe or that's already present?
It's something, well, we have the PAL unit, which interacts with our youth during many activities. They're actually currently doing a virtual camp because they have one every summer and they couldn't have it obviously because of COVID, but they're doing physical fitness, they're reading, they're having interviews with cops, they're actually interacting with the youth online because of the restrictions. They didn't just want to say we're not going to do anything this summer. In addition to that, we are in the schools, we're teaching GREAT, which is gang resistance. So we are doing some things, and before all of this, I had met with the school, wanted to get more officers in there. I wanted to create a youth dialogue where we would have 6 to 8 officers go once a week, once a month, whatever the school would allow us, and interact with the youth in an informal setting, have them actually communicate with us their concerns, whatever it is. And I wanted to pick the right officers for that position because I know the questions may be tough. But we were trying to get a leg up on that when everything happened, but I'm trying to get the officers into the school. I know they have school resource officers, but we're not going there to enforce crime. We're going there simply to just communicate with the youth and actually create a relationship so that if there's an issue within the school, outside of the school, that they also have a resource. So once again, just trying to personalize the relationship with the youth. We also met with probation and parole. We met with the Department of Juvenile Justice. We're really trying to get people into all these arenas because we just don't want to catch you when you're in trouble. If you are already in trouble, we want to talk to you so it doesn't happen again. If you're not in trouble, maybe you're on probation, we want to be able to go to your house with the probation officer so that you can develop a relationship with someone in a way that you can trust. I think it's all about trust. It's all about comfort. It doesn't really matter what color you are. It doesn't matter where you come from. If you start interacting with each other and learning that we're just human beings, I think the acceptance level goes up. And that's really what I'm trying to do and what I will continue to do once we're back on our feet and can engage the way I would like to.
One more question real quick. How can we, the faith-based community, come along and partner with you guys in whatever efforts you got going on?
Once we start establishing some hard set things like getting into the schools, going out with the juveniles to their houses with the probation and parole, we can definitely link you in. So that way it's a 3-prong approach. Maybe the probation officer just wants to make sure they're behaving, but we just want to say, well, what is it that we can do so that when you're off probation, you don't get back out there? And I think sometimes you would bring a different voice to it as well. So I think it would be a great compliment to what we're trying to do. And if you can send me your information, I'll definitely keep it in mind. And if we start evolving with programs, we can include you. Like I said, I think it's a shared responsibility where if we all work together, we all bring something different to the table. I think that's how we can be impactful in Dekalb County.
Good question, Darren.
I'm going to go ahead and type in my email here if I know how to do that, because I think it shows private now. I don't know. Is there?
Oh yeah, what you would do? Select. Yeah, we could share it with everybody. But yeah, on the chat, Chief Ramos, where it says privately, click on that and it changes it to everyone.
I am going to put my email on here, and I'm also going to put my assistant's email on here because sometimes I get a lot of emails and they get lost in there somewhere. And then eventually I'll get to them, but I really like to be very responsive. And so if I miss something, he's like my checks and balances. So that is mine. And then my aide is Lieutenant Smith, and he can be SMI. And anybody who has emailed me know that even though I say that, I definitely try to be very responsive and respond immediately, even if it's to say, let me look into it and get back to you. But we want to stay on top of things. We want to be able to communicate, and we want you to have a way to contact us and let us know how we can improve, if there's anything we can improve in.
Chief Ramos, you mentioned earlier the Facebook page. Is that the DeKalb County Police Facebook page, or is there one specific to the Tucker precinct?
Actually, there used to be one. Well, we ended up having about 8, and we just consolidated into one because we want to make sure that we control the message. We want to make sure that if it's Tucker precinct or South precinct, that whatever they're putting out is filtered through our PIO office. to make sure that it's something that represents the department in a positive way. And so it's the DeKalb County Police Department. If you like it, I just want you to know, because a lot of people have concerns, that doesn't mean that we start seeing what's on your feed, because it's a business. You can see us, but we can't see you. And I know sometimes people are concerned about following us or liking us, but it really is you share what you would like to share. We can't see anything that you don't want us to see. So I know that's something that has been a concern. And I'd like to take a moment to address, I'm not sure if you guys are aware, but they were talking about an 8 Can't Wait campaign. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with that. There were some policies that they were saying that any agency that had at least 4 of the 8 had a reduction in violence. And I just wanted to bring that up because as I reviewed it when it was sent to me by several citizens, I realized that our agency actually had about 6 of them already in place in policy. And the other ones, even though it wasn't in policy, it's in training and it's required by Georgia. So I think when we come to all the concerns that people are expressing in other locations, DeKalb County is a little ahead of the game as far as our restrictions and our rules that we place upon our officers and what they're doing out there. So while you guys haven't addressed that, I'm gonna let you know that we're still working now currently to make sure that we're not the next in the headlines by keeping our officers within policy, making sure that if we need to tweak policy, we will. And, you know, just to kind of move along with the times and make sure our officers know what they can and cannot do. And while we say that, we want to make sure that they abide by the law and at the same time keep themselves and the community safe. Because it's my job to kind of make sure that everybody's safe, not just the officers, but the community as well.
Chief Ramos has added the duty to intervene yesterday or the day before. I thought that was a great move to formalize that. We had a presentation from Lieutenant Schiffner at our last city council meeting, went over the 8 points. It was very helpful in our community understanding that, yes, all of that exists in some form or another, but I thought it was a good idea to formalize that one particular item.
Yes, I thought it was important enough, and policy, as quick as something can go wrong, that's as quick as you can make policy if you really want to. And I thought it was important, so we did. And we had so many community members asking us questions about it that we went ahead and I just sent it to all the majors, and I say, listen, this is where we stand as an agency. Push it out. Let people know. Once again, just want to be open and transparent. There was one we could have done better, so we immediately changed the policy and we created the duty to intervene. We just want to make sure that the community knows we know the needs and we're going to make sure that we meet them as best as we can.
Great job, thanks. And by the way, one other connection to Tucker, your assistant, Shane Smith, was our first liaison between City of Tucker and the Tucker precinct. So give him our hellos, and we miss him over here.
I will. He has been a big blessing to me because he knows Tucker and he knows Uniform Patrol, and he really brings a different perspective to the assignment here. But thank you. I'll let him know.
Yeah, thanks.
Chief Ramos, this is Matt Robbins. I'm with the City of Tucker as well. I can't believe it's 7 months, so congratulations on your certification. I knew you wanted to wear that uniform. Were there any surprises that you have found in DeKalb that you didn't know about when you were applying for the job and selected?
There were quite a few, but the one I think that surprised me the most is our staffing. You know, I thought that we would have more staffing for the area that we cover. And so some of the things that I wanted to do was really create a youth outreach unit, which is what we did in Miami, and it was very positive, is we don't really have the resources to create a specific unit to work with the youth. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna work with what we have, and we're really just gonna create everybody. We wanna teach everybody how to interact better with the youth. Obviously, there'll be some that'll be better suited for it, and we'll kind of use them a lot more. But I think what surprised me the most is how much we do with what little we have. And I try to emphasize that to the officers because I am constantly amazed at what they do. Coming from a larger agency and knowing that sometimes we had a lot more resources to do less, it's very surprising, and I'm very impressed at what they do. You know, even our homicides, we had a record number of homicides last year. We can't get away from that. But yet then their clearance rate was way above the national average. And right now this year, we're about halfway where we were last year. So we've already making progress in that. And we don't really have as many detectives that we should in that unit. So just the fact that we have highly dedicated people doing great work with a lot of restrictions, that was one of my biggest surprises.
Thank you very much.
Chief Ramos, thank you so much for all that you and your staff do. I wanted to ask, for those of us who don't know what those 8 points are, would you explain those to us, please?
Sure. I actually have them right here. And give me, I gotta turn my fan on. It's a little warm. Okay, so let me make sure that I have them all. I see I have the first copy. And if you go to 8can'twait.org, it actually gives you a little bit of background as to what their studies have shown, which is that if you practice or have these policies, that it does minimize violence in your community. 1 second, I'm so sorry, I have a lot of paperwork, but here it goes. So one of them is, it says that you should ban chokeholds and strangleholds. And we actually have a policy that we teach and we don't condone the use of chokeholds, and we actually have a policy that says you just cannot. So we have 2 policies in place. One that states no individual will be restrained in such a manner so as to choke or restrict breathing at any time. And then there's another one that states the use of any type of neck restraint or chokehold is prohibited. So we got a check mark on that one because we do abide by that policy. Another one is a requirement of de-escalation. And as a Georgia peace officer, you are required annually to be trained in de-escalation processes. And I can attest to that because I took a 9-hour online class on uses of forces and de-escalation just to receive my certification. But when you first come on, you're taught about de-escalation, and every year thereafter, they give you a refresher. So we check mark on that one. Require warning before shooting. While we actually don't have a policy that states that you have to give warning for shooting, it does state that the department teaches the use of verbal commands to de-escalate situations prior to utilizing any type of force. Officers make every effort to de-escalate and announce their presence without jeopardizing the life and safety of others. And the reason it's worded that way is because if you lock people into a policy and they can't do it because circumstances dictate that they cannot, we don't want to have to hold them against the policy. We all know that sometimes things happen very quickly. So if you don't have that opportunity to say, hands up or I'm going to shoot, it's going to be very difficult to hold them to task because that second that they stop to say that could cost them their lives. So what we say, whenever possible, without jeopardizing their lives or the lives of others, they may need to announce, but we can't mandate it to say you must, because that split second could cost someone their life. Does that make sense? Okay, and then we have exhaust other means before shooting. And there's actually a policy that states, officers have a responsibility to use only the amount and degree of force necessary and reasonable to protect and preserve life. They are trained to use the least amount of force necessary to ensure the safety of all involved. What that means is, in easy terms, if someone was to slap you as a person, you don't turn around and stab them because that's not the most reasonable way to behave to that type of violence. And I just meant as a citizen. So the violence should equate what you're dealing with. That's what dictates the level of force that you can use. It needs to be reasonable. You can't go over and beyond. You can't immediately go to your weapon if it does not require a weapon to be utilized. Does that make sense? Okay, and then we have the duty to intervene. That is the one that we did not have. After reading this and after everything that's been going on, I felt that it was important to actually implement it into a policy. Before it stated, officers are responsible for ensuring a safe and ethical treatment of all people in the community. Intervention, technical judgment, and ethical decision-making are reinforced during departmental annual training. We went a step further and we have instituted the policy that now reads, any employee that is present and observing another employee using force that is clearly beyond that which is objectively reasonable under the circumstances shall intervene to prevent the use of such excessive force. The employee shall then promptly report such incident to a supervisor as soon as possible. Now that expectation was always there, but now we've created it to be an actual policy, just because we want to make sure there's no misunderstandings. So now we can comply and say that we're checking that one off as well. You also have a ban at moving vehicles, ban shooting at moving vehicles. And our policy actually states officers will not discharge a firearm at or from a moving vehicle except as the ultimate measure of self-defense or defense of another when that suspect is using deadly force. So those are policies that have already been in place. And there's only two more, which is the require the use of force continuum. We actually have a policy for that as well that states officers with the Dekalb County Police Department will be trained in the use of the Federal Integrated Force Management Model. This use of force continuum model is a concept used in incident handling that simultaneously recognizes the level of subject resistance encountered and the level of control and force required for the situation. So that simply just means is that we need to be taught to recognize that if this is happening, these are the types of level of force that you could utilize for these types of situations. And that is taught and re-emphasized every year at training. And then the last one is requiring comprehensive reporting. It's a very lengthy section, but we do have an existing policy that says that we will document and report all uses of forces. So that pretty much covers the 8 Can't Wait. Like I said, if you go to 8can'twait.org, I think you can read a little bit more about it. It's not something that we created, but it was something that was brought to our attention. So we took a look at it and we were very pleased to see that we were in compliance. And if there's anything else as we move along that we realize that we need to tweak, we're more than agreeable to tweaking it if it keeps our community and our officers safe.
Thank you so much for going over all of that. I was wondering, and I understand what you're saying about limited resources, but I'm wondering if there is any training on things like implicit bias that might, make a police officer maybe misjudge the level of threat that's being presented in any given situation.
I'm going to be honest with you and say, I have been told that they teach complicit bias. I do not oversee our training academy, so I'm not exactly on top of their latest training. I am going to make it a point to request authorization to be able to go in there and really see what they're teaching them. I have some ideas of some training that I think may be helpful, but I'm not exactly sure if they're already being utilized or not. There is such a thing called fair and impartial policing. I'm actually a trainer in that because I went to class to learn about it. That will teach you how to deal with your internal biases, which we all have. And the training actually teaches you, and it's very surprising, it teaches you how our mind processes things without us even realizing it. So they'll give you different examples, they'll give you different testing scenarios, and you come away realizing that while you thought you had no biases, that you do. And so those are some things that I think we definitely need to look at. So I definitely want to embed myself a little bit more in the academy because I do have some ideas that may already be implemented, but if they're not, they're very important to make sure that we address all those cultural diversity issues, all those internal biases that we all have as people, but that can get in the way when we are policing. So definitely I'm aware that there's some training things that we could possibly do. But before I say what we do and we don't, I don't really have all the information as it relates to that.
Thank you so much for taking the time to listen, Chief Ramos, and to look into all of these things. Really appreciate
If I don't listen, I can't tell anybody if we're doing right or we're doing wrong. And like I said, and I repeat this all the time because I really want everybody to hold me to it. I want to be open. I want to be transparent. If we don't do something right, I want to know about it so we can fix it. We are your police department, so we need to be able to service the community in the manner that they need to be serviced. And so I just want to be open about it. So if you ever ask a question that I don't know, I would rather say I don't know than you find out that I'm not telling you the truth or I spoke about something that I didn't have any knowledge of. So that's one thing that you can count on me is openness and transparency. And that's what I'm pushing down, and that's what I want all of our people to do. I always say we're not perfect, but as long as we fix our deficiencies and keep moving forward and are always progressing, I think we can do better. We can always do better. No matter how good we're doing, there's always room for improvement.
We appreciate you.
Thank you.
This is Honey Van de Creek again. And by the way, I haven't met you, but Honey really is my real name, so I have to go with that one. Thank you so much for joining us today. I appreciate all the people that attended. We're coming up on, we're probably just slightly after 1 o'clock. So I appreciate every single one showing up today. Thank you so much for the program. It was extremely informative and quite timely, as a matter of fact. So anyway, so all of you that have, we'll see you next, I hope it will, well, I don't know if we'll see you, but it'll either be Zoom or in person. We don't know yet. We'll let you know. And at any time you want to come out and come to one of our luncheons, we'd be more than happy to have you, Chief.
Thank you so much. Thank you for being so receptive to listening. If there's anything that we can do for you, please let us know. Hopefully we can start getting back out there. I'm really a people person, so I like to see people. So when I couldn't see who was talking, it was really getting under my skin. So I like to see people, touch people, which we can't do now. But I'm looking forward to meeting each and every one of you. If there's anything we can do, whether it's myself, my office, my people, let me know. If there's anything we can do better, let me know. We're open to whatever it is. And like I said, if it's something we can't do, I'll let you know. But if it is, we'll definitely look into it. So thank you so much. I'm very happy to be part of this community that is so welcoming and receptive to law enforcement, and I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Chief.
All right, Stephen, thanks so much for hosting.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Be on the lookout, guys, for us next month, okay? Talk to you later. Bye-bye.